So welcome along to episode number 20 of Gamify 24/7. Thank you for downloading and for listening. And don't forget as well, leave us lots of feedback. If you want to get in touch, there are lots of ways to do that. We will tell you about those before we finish today. But today the focus is very much on last week's events, guys.
The greatest time of the year, obviously.
Christmas for gamers.
Yep, Christmas for gamers.
Other than actual Christmas where all the games come out. Like...
Oh.
Sorry.
Argument debunked.
I'm here to ruin things again.
Now, we'd love to hear all about your holiday, Kat, but in one word, sum up your holiday for us.
Mickey Mouse.
That's
Mickey.
2 words.
Great, that's,
He's like,
yeah.
he has like, you have to say Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mason.
Yeah.
Hack the planet, hack language.
Okay, so we're going to move on very quickly to E3 because we have an awful lot to cover. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by looking at the main platforms, and then we'll get into kind of more the nitty-gritty stuff. And if you guys have got stuff that you want to jump in with, just go for it. So first of all, I want to talk about, before we get, I know everyone wants to talk about Switch apart from Kat, but I want to start with Microsoft.
Yeah, well, you know, we've been looking forward to finding out finally what the Xbox One X was going to be.
Well,
they're kind of
Scorpio.
Well,
anyway,
Scorpio, yeah,
we
sorry,
all had
sorry,
it in
Scorpio.
our... Like, I was very confused about it because I didn't see it at the time. I know I was in a good time zone for it, but that also meant that during the day I was doing
That's
things.
the perfect time for you.
I know. See, if it had ironically been at night, like normal, I wouldn't have been doing activities then and could have sat down and watched the whole thing, whereas when it was happening, I was like at a Disney park doing, like, waiting in line for Avatar and stuff. But I was really confused then when I saw news, because I didn't obviously know what happened, and I was like, what's the Xbox One X? Where's the Scorpio news? Because I thought it was called the Scorpio, and does anyone blame me for that, or?
Yeah, we blame you.
I thought that's what it was going to be called. That's what they were calling it. What the hell?
It was confusing.
Why would you
There's no
call
two
it
ways
a
about it.
project something and then be like, actually, it's called this? I just don't. What are you trying to do? It's
Well,
confusing.
remember the Switch, was it the Switch or Wii U was Project Coffee, was it?
Yeah, that was the Wii U.
They didn't come out and be like, here's Project Coffee though, here's all the specs for Project Coffee, Project Coffee, Project Coffee.
True,
and do like
true.
a reveal about Project Coffee. They didn't do that. They just were like, here's a new console, this is what it's called. Whereas this one, it was like, we're making a new console and stuff, by the way, it's Project Scorpio, blah, blah, blah. And then now they've changed
I must say, like, on a technical level, I said it before when they first announced it, when they came up with the thing with Digital Foundry, is it looks amazing, it's just too expensive. I think the lack of big exclusive games, there was, like, they kept on going about, we've got 20 odd exclusives, but a lot of that was just indie stuff. There wasn't any big AAA, really big main ones. Even things like Anthem, I'm sure we'll get to, that's a multi-platform game. But the stuff they showed was looking quite good. Some of the games looked amazing. Anthem in particular looked amazing. But I just think that 100 to 150 pound difference between the PlayStation 4 Pro, it's just too much. It's just too much. And they keep babbling on about stats and figures and numbers. And I really genuinely think, outside of the really intense fanboys that love Xbox that are going to buy it regardless, it's not going to appeal to anyone. It's too expensive, and they're going to go for a Pro that's got more games. And I think anyone that is so into the stats and the figures and the specs, they'll buy a PC.
Have a PC, I know exactly. It doesn't. This is like what all the things we were saying that could be wrong with it are wrong with it. So well done.
It is weird because for the price you're paying for it, it is a good value for money for like spec
For the specs,
pounds.
yeah.
But at the same time, nothing's taking advantage of it. Oh, it's 4K in HDR. I'm like, the PS4 Pro's also 4K in HDR, and for an extra £100 you could buy an Xbox One on top of a PS4
Exactly, and I just personally do not care about Forza running natively in 60 frames per second. Really don't care about that.
The biggest thing that I think Microsoft, the problem they've got right now is Phil Spencer and Mike Ybarra, his name is, or Mike Barra, they've both been going on and saying stuff about, Like Mike Yabana has been saying that it's the equivalent of a $1,500 PC. Who cares?
You've not got the games that PC's got.
Exactly. If someone wants something that they'll buy a PC. I think, like I said, no gamer is going to fork out that money unless they're a total fan of Xbox stuff. They'll go and buy a PlayStation 4 Pro. That's the better option. Or they'll buy an Xbox One S because it does almost everything anyway. I think what Phil Spencer's been going on about, and he keeps on sitting there saying, yeah, but theirs isn't native like 4K, but who cares? Nobody cares. The general consumer, the mass market, don't give a flying about that.
Well, think about how well Zelda sold, and like that technology used to play that game is much less advanced than this. I'm still going to call it the Scorpio because it's in my head now. You can't correct it. Scorpio.
The Scorpio.
Yeah, that. And it sold so much better purely because it's a good game. That's what, like, I don't understand how me, somebody who doesn't even work in the industry, can tell you that, and it's true. And they all just probably have meetings about this kind of thing, and they don't come to this conclusion.
So I'm going to try and stick up for them. Okay? So, first of all, they gave away a rare replay if you watched it. If you didn't have that already, they were giving you that as well, and they gave you a bunch of other free stuff just to watch their E3 conference. That was quite nice.
But you know why? Because they had basically said they were going to show it on Mixer, their new platform. That's their Beam platform that they changed to Mixer. And they said we're going to show our live conference through Mixer in 4K, come and tune into it. And everyone was trying to tune into it, and it crashed, it went down. So that was their apology, because they messed up. They said anyone that tried to get into it with their accounts, we'll give them that for free. You'll get a bunch of free games and stuff.
Okay, but you're also getting something which is going to be the most powerful and probably play third-party games better than any other platform for a price which is, okay, fair enough, it's expensive, but it's also, if you are a gamer and you really want to have the best, then this probably will be as future-proof as you get in terms of the technology, despite it being numbers and nobody caring, as you said already. But, I'm trying to back them up here. Also, they didn't focus on exclusives, as we know, but does that not mean that maybe what they're doing is not falling into that trap where they announce an exclusive and you've got to wait 5 years before it's actually made? Maybe what they're doing is getting the technology right, and then next year what we're going to see is announcements of all those big exclusives that everyone wanted, and they're going to be out within 6 months, a year, rather than waiting 3 years. So maybe they're playing a long game.
I think if you're trying to release new hardware, that's probably not the right tactic. Like, get everyone excited about it before it comes out, or it will totally bomb and everyone will forget about it, and Sony will then get the upper hand, or Nintendo coming out with something better.
Maybe, but then I was going to say the Switch hasn't exactly had that many exclusives yet. I mean, I know we've had a few, but there is still time, and I'm just trying to play devil's advocate with Microsoft because I feel someone has to stick up for them somewhere along the line. But I don't know.
But that's the thing, they've messed up, they've totally screwed up. Like, as far as I'm concerned, they've totally screwed up on it. Like, they've went and done this thing where right now, all I think they're trying to do is they're just trying to one up Sony with the best hardware.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean anything.
It's because they probably kind of knew themselves Sony weren't going to come out with a hardware announcement this time because they've got the PS4 Pro, got VR already. They've not got another console ready to announce, so they would just do wow, we've got a brand new console, and it's just also like, okay, well, what games do you have for it?
It's the old, like, what do you call it, willy waving. It's like, who's got the best hardware? They sat there. He stood there and they went on about the specs and everything, and that's great. But like I said, I don't think it means anything in the grand scale of things. I think if they were on parity with the PlayStation, with sales and numbers, and with exclusives coming out, then fair enough, they might be somewhere like with a point. But the fact they're so far behind, like Kat says, I think exclusives is exactly what they need right now. They didn't need new hardware. They could have stayed with the Xbox One S, which done 4K upscaling, it done HDR, the Dolby Atmos sound, and they could have just actually pushed that with exclusives, and it would have been just as good. It would have been half the price of what they're charging now, and it would have been a much better option.
Yeah, or something innovative like the Switch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Coming back from the Wii U to the Switch, it's because they completely changed it. They completely changed how that worked, and that was intriguing to people. But no, Microsoft have just made another Xbox, but it's slightly better. It's just, you know what I mean? That's not enough to make people want it. I'm sorry, Michael, if you
get
like
me wrong.
it.
I'd love to have the machine. I just think if I stood in a shop and I looked at both of them in a shop, the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X.
Yeah, I would ask member
the
staff,
price.
like, which one,
I'd get
can I play the same games on both? And they'd be like, yep. And I'd be like,
Exactly.
okay, well, I'll just get the cheaper one then.
You know, it's like, oh, it's better 4K. So
Don't
it's still
care.
4K though, but it's better 4K.
Yeah, apparently.
It's weird. I do agree in the sense of it's like, it's kind of, you're paying a lot for not very much, but also on the other side, if you go in the store and if you're going in to play like Call of Duty and Mass Effect and Mirror's Edge and whatever, you are kind of going in there and saying, well, this one's a small, tiny console that can play 360 and Xbox original games.
That's not
and it's
tiny.
also...
Like me and Kirk went and looked at this. There was a picture, a comparison, and Microsoft's sneaky about this, by the way. Go and watch them talking about it, and they keep saying it's a tiny little bit smaller, it's a tiny little bit smaller. If you actually look at them stacked on top of each other, someone done a picture of it, and they put the Xbox One X on top of the Xbox One S, and it's virtually identical. The only thing that's different is the way they've designed it now. Instead of being that single rectangle unit that's really flush, like the Xbox One S, it's now in a step-tiered design. So it's the illusion that it looks much smaller because it's got that step.
What, like the
old
PS4?
PlayStation 2. Yeah. Like, well, the
And
PlayStation
PS
2 and stuff and 3.
Yeah.
So it's just a total illusion that makes it look smaller. And it's very minusculely smaller than the Xbox One S. And they're sitting there going, it's smaller, it's smaller. It's not really smaller. You're getting virtually the same size of machine. And it's just like marketing gibberish to fool people into spending £200 more for this machine when they can get a PlayStation 4 S that probably is almost the same size and it does all the stuff pretty much just as good.
So, in other
Apart from
words,
backwards
we didn't
compatibility.
care for the Xbox One
It's a shame because they could have done so
X,
much better with it.
which the next one will be the Xbox One XB, then Xbox One
XYZ.
XBO, and then the Xbox XBOX, Xbox, and that's just what it's going to be forever because they're terrible at naming things. I can't be bothered. And
It'll be, you might well be right, Kat, actually. That might be how they go.
I wouldn't even be surprised.
It'd be interesting to see if anyone can defend the Xbox X and say that, yes, it's 100% the way to go. I've got a couple of friends I know that listen to the podcast who are big Microsoft fans, and we're pretty excited about it. So it just shows you, I guess, but that is their thing. Microsoft is, they're Xbox people. So, well, let's look at the Switch then. I know that Kat's probably more interested in PlayStation at the moment, but let's look at the Switch anyway. There were some good announcements.
I was just going to say, I thought the Metro game was quite interesting looking.
Which one?
The Metro Redux. It's not Redux, is it?
I can't remember what it's.
Exodius or something?
Yeah,
Whatever
the
it was
Metro
called,
game.
it looked good. I'll say that for their conference. I thought that looked like a good game.
Yeah.
So there's a compliment for them.
Yeah, Metro's a weird franchise. You're never wanting a Metro game, but then you show off and you're like, yeah, I can take this.
It looks
It's
great,
alright.
it looks
It's alright. Yeah, it looks okay. So yeah, you can talk about the Switch now, guys. On you
All right,
go.
let's talk about the Switch then. A couple of things. Obviously, Mario Odyssey, we got to see a bit more of that, which was exciting. We've got Zelda DLC. We've got Yoshi announcement, a working title at the moment. We've got Pokemon RPG. We've got Kirby, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Also, Rocket League. Now, there's something about Rocket League which is intriguing me because I'm a big Rocket League player. I'm up to veteran at the moment. I'm not quite up to like expert, but I do play a lot of Rocket League. Don't look like that, Kat. It's great. And
No, I was impressed by that because I find it really difficult. So
yeah, it
well
is.
done.
It genuinely is really difficult. It's probably only been in the last 3-4 hours of playing that I've actually managed to play it well. And I'm probably playing at a level that's not. What disappointed me, what really stressed me out was that I'm top of the Division 1 Bronze 1 league, and I went, oh, that's pretty good. And then I went online to have a look at what the rankings are like, and there's about 27 leagues above me, and I was like, oh, I give up. But what would really annoy me is that I've built up this profile on Rocket League, and they're talking about cross-platform potential. Am I going to be able to transfer that across? Do we know yet?
Probably. Yeah, well, you will be able to, because I think, just like Minecraft, you have to use your Xbox Live sign-in for it. I think they're using that for a global sort of sign-in thing now for the cross-platform stuff. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do it. What is it you played Rocket League on?
PlayStation 4. So I would be keen on a Switch version because it would give me the portability and I could, play it on the go. But
it depends what account. Like if it was the developers, like Ubisoft have Uplay accounts and stuff like that.
Can't remember off the top of my head when I sign in what happens.
You'll be signed in on PlayStation, but it's whether you have an account with the developer.
Psyonix.
I guess.
Yeah, because it's kind of like when Grand Theft Auto came out on PS4, because everything was linked up to the Rockstar Social Cloud, you could move from Xbox to PS4.
So I guess if there wasn't an account like that you'd created for it specifically with them, then I wouldn't think it would be.
Well, that's the breaker for me for buying Rocket League on the Switch, basically.
Someone tell us in the comments.
Tell us, please. So anyway, tell us what's your picks for the Switch then. What's exciting you about the Switch announcement?
I loved the part where they showed off a JPEG of a logo. That was pretty good. I love JPEGs.
It was nice.
For real, just Mario Odyssey. I am so hyped for that. I think Sunshine and 64 were the two best 3D Mario games, and to say this is in the same lineage and with the fancy ass.
You can say that. It means like a mule kind of thing.
Yeah,
parental guidance.
Yeah, we're so clean. The new logo. Well, I've lost track of what I'm saying.
Fancy
graphics.
Logo or something
of Mario Odyssey. Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mario. I never played Mario 64. Kurt played it. He was a big fan of Nintendo stuff. I was a Sega guy, but from what everyone's saying, they're loving it. Who have managed to get hands on of it at E3. I think the fact when they showed us off, I wasn't too sure about it, but the fact that you can take over people with a hat, the cappy, it looks pretty cool. Like the fact it goes into the T-Rex, goes into everything essentially. That's pretty cool. The two other things that were probably really cool announcements was the Metroid Prime 4, but it was just a logo. That's all it was, which is a bit disappointing. It's I'll come back to this in a second, but the Pokemon one as well, Pokemon coming for the Switch, those were the two big ones. And loads of people said, well, they never showed anything, and I agree with them. But at the same time, when you think about it, at least we know they're coming. And that's one of the big things that was disappointing with the Wii U, was there was games you wanted to come like Metroid and Pokemon, but they never said they were going to come or they weren't going to come. So it was always like, well, we might get it, we might get it, and then it kind of died a death. Now we know these are coming, even if it's next year. So that's exciting. I'm quite excited about that. The only thing that bugs me though is, and I'm kind of disappointed in Nintendo in this sense, I thought their showing was actually quite good. But we've got no virtual console stuff, we've got no online stuff shown, we never got an Animal Crossing, which surely they're working away in that kind of stuff. We never got any footage for Metroid Prime 4 or Pokemon, and there was just loads of things that I just felt like Yoshi and Kirby and everything, they're next year. And I just felt like, well, what have you been doing for the last 2 or 3 years? I didn't understand, because the whole of last year, when we knew the Wii U was dying, I thought they were working all their teams on this stuff. And maybe they're much further in development already, but I just feel like, where's all this stuff? Where's No More Heroes? Where was that? Because we've got stuff about that. Where's Platinum's game? Where's all these games that were kind of teased or were expecting? And it's like they showed virtually nothing. Now, to counteract that, what is good is if you actually look at the rest of the lineup for the rest of the year, it's actually pretty good. You've got Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Super Mario Galaxy, we've got Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, we've got Arms just came with Splatoon 2, FIFA 18, which you'll be loving, Rocket League. We've got loads of stuff coming out, so it's actually an impressive first year. It's just that there was just things I thought we should have been shown or talked about. I really need to know about what's happened with the virtual console, this online stuff. Why we're not getting to see about it.
Yeah, I was a little bit underwhelmed overall. And not that I thought that, like you guys, Mario Odyssey, absolutely, really excited about that. What we did get to see looked amazing. And there are other moments there that I think, I'm going to be quite interested in that. But overall, I kind of wanted a little bit more. I wanted to know, like you, about the virtual console. I think that's has real potential on the Switch. I wanted to know more about where they were going with the Switch as well. I didn't feel there was an awful lot about how they're going to utilize the technology in future games. I mean, I know they mentioned, obviously, bits about these games, but I was kind of half expecting some sort of game that might really utilize the handheld versus the docked version thing. There may be something that was just a bit different. I didn't really get any of that, but it is still early on, and as you said, I think it's not that I think the year has been a bad start for a console. I think it's been great, but I just felt that I was kind of expecting a little bit more.
I think the problem with Nintendo's E3 showing is the fact that they do have these Nintendo Directs, because in my opinion, I feel like if you took what we had in the last 2 Nintendo Directs that were like post-Switch launch, if you threw them into this one and then maybe took the next 2 Nintendo Directs coming up, you'd have an awesome showing, but it's just the fact they're having to drag all their news out across so many months.
Yeah. I think like E3s, they've been changing it up. They've now got people coming in, the public can come into it and see it and buy tickets. And I think E3, it's kind of dying a little bit of a death. I think, E3 used to be the premier, big, massive show of the year where everyone would go and you get to see stuff, and then it was another year before you get to see it again. But now you've got the PlayStation experience, you've got Nintendo Directs, you've got all the other games conventions, the what's the one in Germany? Gamescom.
Biggest
You've got
in Europe.
so many conferences now throughout the year that I think that it just doesn't have the impact now. And I think that's what we saw this year with Sony. As Sony came out compared to last year, and I think Sony had a pretty decent showing this year. But where was the razzmatazz? Where was the spectacle of their show? Their stage show? It was crap. It was just a video. It's like they could have just done what Nintendo did, a digital event, and just showed it. You actually looked at the audience, and the audience looked bored. They were sitting there going, okay, watching a video. So I think E3 is kind of losing a little bit of its stuff. And I think Sony's even come out and said, that's what they're focusing on now, the PlayStation experience. PlayStation experience. It's like, well, okay.
Let's look at Sony then, because we're talking about the platforms first, and then we're going to open it up to other things that we thought were great and things that we thought were not great. Let's start with Kat. Was your thoughts on Sony?
It's slightly underwhelming because, as you say, it kind of like there wasn't any major announcement that I was like, whoa! Like last year, a lot of it, I was just like, oh, that looks good, that's great. Oh wow, there's this new game. Whereas this time, it seems to be more like, here are games you already know about, getting some more things for those games, like Horizon Zero Dawn, like DLC,
the DLC pack,
and stuff like that. There was no Last of Us 2, which a lot of people have been talking about because they were expecting to see that. People were expecting to see Death Stranding as well, and I know that we know that those games are coming out. We've seen them before, but I thought we'd get to see some more gameplay type things. Like I get if they're not ready for that, which is fair enough. Don't try and show something if it's not ready. But there's things like then God of War was shown when they opened with that last year. It's not coming out that far in the distance.
January, isn't it, or something?
I can't remember what they actually...
January 2018, I think.
But it's not far away. So I'm kind of like, why did they need to show us that if it's not that far away? But they could have used that time to show something that we didn't know about that was maybe more exciting. I was happy to see them showcase Detroit becoming human because I am looking forward to that. And so it's good to see it still going on. But
yeah, the thing I found weird about this Sony one is they kept on doing these things, what they've been getting in a habit of doing for the past couple of years, where they're like, trailer, trailer, trailer. And then it's like, we don't get any context of what these games even are, but then they'll go ahead and show God of War for the second time. They'll go show Days Gone for the second time. It's like, why not talk about these games that you're just showing a trailer of? They're like cinematic.
So I don't know if that's kind of just because it's too early in development for them to want to talk about it too much, or if it is just a bit lazy. I don't want to call them that. Yeah, but the PlayStation experience is always really good. Though.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's turned out to be something that I really look forward to now, because I'm always like, I wonder what new games I'm going to hear about at PlayStation experience rather than E3, I guess.
Like you mentioned earlier, Michael, about maybe some of the games not getting shown because maybe it was too early. But to me, that's exactly what E3 is about. It doesn't matter whether it's 3 years down the line. Show me something now. Get like the Metroid trailer. The people went absolutely berserk for that. We all know it's like a year or 2 years away or something. But it doesn't matter. It's just that knowing that it's coming.
I think that's kind of been my overwhelming feeling from it, is that yes, it was great to hear confirmation about a lot of these games, a couple of new titles, but I didn't feel like I learnt an awful lot more than we knew before about anything particularly, you know? And I think that was a bit disappointing because, like you, last year there were so many gameplay trailers coming out and you were getting to see real, you know, bits of games, and they didn't really have that in the same way. And I kept expecting it because I was away during the day of most of the conferences, and I kept expecting sort of more exciting things to pop up on my phone. I had the updates coming in, and every time it was like, oh yeah, that's cool. All right, that's all right. Yeah,
because it's stuff like I'm looking forward to God of War. I'm looking forward to Days Gone, but I feel if you're going to release a trailer, easily you can just do that on. Just put it on Facebook. Here's the trailer.
Does look like they're pushing a bit more on the PSVR though. There were a few announcements for VR. Skyrim they're talking about as well.
Skyrim and Doom VFR and stuff. Yeah.
Fallout.
I still think there could be much. There was what was the other one? The one with the guys in the asylum.
Oh, the Inpatient or something. I thought that looked quite cool for VR.
Yeah, that sounds really cool because that's got stuff where. When you walk past people in the game, if you talk to them, it recognises you talking to them, and it interacts based on that.
Well, it'll just be me being like, "Ah!"
There was
terrifying.
There was that one. Was it called? Was it Nefarious or something? What was that one? Transference, the one by Ubisoft, where it's like it had Elijah Wood presenting it, and he was talking. It's like you're basically inside the memories of some guy, and you go through different parts of his memory through time. And apparently,
I did see that.
Yeah, apparently the first time playing it, there's a couple of people who have tried it out, and they said they were totally freaked out the first time they played it. It was just really unsettling. They came off and they were like, "That's kind of uncomfortable and weird."
I like that though. I like that kind of thing. It sounds cool.
We'll get Kat playing it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I actually will.
Actually, speaking of Ubisoft, they did have quite a few announcements, though. They had quite a lot. They obviously had the Mario and Rabbids, which is split opinion. We've got the new South Park one, which looked good. I mean, we kind of knew it would be anyway. It seems like they've pushed the boundaries with the new South Park one. They really are going for the kind of as much South Park as they can get in there. I mean, I know the last one does anyway. That's what South Park do, but it looks like they're taking it to a new level. So I'm looking forward to that. But we knew that was happening anyway.
Yeah.
But they also had the mobile South Park as well.
But I was going to say, the phone destroyer thing.
Yeah, the phone destroyer. Yeah, looks quite cool.
Yeah, interesting. But so in terms of the other stuff then, outside of the, or specific things that at E3, was there anything that caught your eye? Was there anything you thought, that's interesting, I didn't expect that?
Undertale being released for PlayStation, for PSVR and PS4, and getting a physical edition as well.
Stuart Little goes medieval.
Nat 2, everybody's favourite game, got a release date. You know, we love Nat.
I never got a knack for that game.
Shadow of the Colossus,
getting
redone with new graphics. What I'm all for, because that game deserves everything. Just throw money at it.
I never played the original, but I'm tempted by that one.
I've got one.
Two big ones.
Oh yeah, you go first then.
Like the two big ones that were third-party ones that I thought looked pretty impressive, or were stuff that was quite exciting. Anthem looks absolutely gorgeous.
Anthem does look.
I don't know if it's going to be a good game, but you know, it looks like a kind of cross between Titanfall and Destiny, but with Iron Man type suits, so it's not like a full-on mechs. That looks pretty cool, assuming that it's got decent gameplay.
Yeah, I need a good story from that to get in there again.
Tech-wise, it looked amazing. Another one was Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
The announcement for that, again, that was like one of those ones where people were in tears about it and stuff, and it was exciting. And although they never showed anything from the actual in-game engine during the trailer, there was some hands-on afterwards where people got to see the engine, and you could zoom right out to the space from the planet.
Oh,
it
really?
Looked pretty impressive. There's still debate whether that's going to be, like there was rumours that was going to be on the Switch, and it was going to be a Switch exclusive for a year. But from the tech-wise, I don't know if that's doable. But Michael Ansel has came out and said that there's no platform specifically, and it's scaling across multiple platforms. So it could still come.
Yeah, that game looked like they unveiled Beyond Good and Evil 2 back 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And even back looking at the trailers back then, besides the graphics, the mechanics and the physics.
Which is running through the site?
Yeah, that looked really impressive even looking back on it now. So I couldn't imagine what that game looks like with 9 years of work put on top of it. That was like my oh my god moment.
My one was, do you remember a few weeks back on the Retro Corner, my game was Prisoner of War?
Yeah.
Yeah,
PlayStation 2.
I thought that sounded good, other than a bit dodgy.
Yeah,
controversy-wise.
So the one at E3 that I was really excited about was A Way Out. Did you see A Way Out?
Oh yeah.
I don't think so.
So A Way Out is escaping from prison, but it's a co-op, and you've got to play it local co-op.
Yeah, I did hear about that actually.
Player 1 can be doing one thing like distracting a guard while player 2 sneaks out, and you get the different perspectives. So whatever you're doing, player 2 will see it from a different perspective and be doing something else. I love the fact that they've focused on co-op, local co-op. I mean, it's online co-op as well, but it's just the fact that you can do it split screen, old school, but it's all about kind of stealth and sneaking out, very much in the vein of Prisoner of War that I talked about, a while back on the Retro Corner. I was quite excited about that. If they get that right, that could be really good fun with a friend or someone that you know online or whatever.
Anyone who's tuning in will know that I talked about this last week, and I was saying the guy, the director, the writer, he's an actor, but his name is Jose Farah, I think it is, but he looks just like Travis from Fear the Walking Dead. It's like his twin brother. He looks just like him. Check it out. But yeah, it looks pretty good, and I liked his passion. I think that's why I was quite excited by that game, because he done a game called Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
That's right.
And and apparently it's amazing. And people were saying that they were crying at the end of that game and everything. I've never played it myself, but apparently it's really, really good.
I've heard of that, yeah.
But he's made this, and again, obviously, it's the two brothers. It's two brothers again that are doing stuff in jail. And just when he came on stage, he was the total opposite for what you get from EA. It was an EA game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's EA.
It's an EA game, yeah.
Honestly, I think EA's presentation was absolutely horrendously bad.
Yeah.
But he came on and he was actually quite sound. He came in and he was passionate, and you felt like he was genuinely into his games, and he was genuinely passionate. Whereas the rest of their show, their football bit, oh my god, man, I wanted to tear my eyes out. And then the bit where they had the suit guy and he was trying to be cool, it was unbelievably bad. It was everything bad about E3 and a presentation.
Every year I come back with the same reaction after watching EA, and I'm like, EA Sports should have its own conference. If they've got their own event, this should have its own conference, because I would happily have watched more Need for Speed or more Anthem.
But they take over all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and it isn't like it's like a big game every year. It's like it's just incremental improvements that takes up 30 minutes of the show.
See, I'm kind of with you on that. Even though I like a lot of the EA games, so it's not that I don't like them. I kind of don't really need to see, because I know what's going to happen. They're going to improve this. They're going to change the physics of this. There's going to be better collision detection, blah blah blah. And so I know what's going to happen. So I don't really need to see a half-an-hour conference on it. So I would rather have time taken up with other stuff as well. Quite a lot. What I thought was really interesting was, I do feel like we're in the early 90s again, with all these Sonic and Mario announcements every 5 minutes. And on the telly, blind dates back on, and there's talk about the Generation game.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they're talking about the Generation game coming back. Honestly, it is like we are just going back in time again. So I kind of liked it from that point of view. I'm excited about Sonic again, which is great. I'm excited about Mario as well. So that was kind of cool. And also, speaking of retro, we've got the new Atari console.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is very interesting, and it's weird that they're not doing like an NES Classic or like a compilation console like this. They're generally trying to compete with Xbox and Microsoft, which is for a company that seems to be on the verge of bankruptcy every 5 years is quite a bold move.
Well, isn't Atari doing all right now? Like the guy who bought out the company, when they declared bankruptcy, the guy who bought the company, isn't he got it back to quite a profitable state now?
I would hope so. With them releasing console, I find it weird. I went through all their press details, and every paragraph they're going on, they're like, "We've been working on this for years." I'm like, I would hope so if you're releasing a console.
I just think there's something, the name Atari is synonymous with old to me. It's old computers from back in the day. I just didn't think of it as a modern day console maker, and that's it's just a word. But there's just that, me and my old mindset is thinking like that. Maybe as a new gamer coming in, it's completely new, so it's irrelevant to them. But there's just that bit in the back of my mind that it's an old company that was part of the reason why we had the video game crash in the first place. They caused it.
We're
getting back in the game.
I think about that as well. Like it means kind of before my time to me, really. And I know it's not really fair because there should be like an open market for other people to make consoles and things, but now I kind of also think, how's it going to fit in there?
Well, it's going to be called the Atari Box X.
I'd love to see Amiga return. I want to see Sega bring out a console.
I'd like Sega to come back.
Yeah, see, now that's the thing, isn't it?
See, I guess there'll be too many then. There'll be too many.
Even more, the more the merrier.
Because then people will start making exclusives for these and then not other ones, and it'll just be difficult. But I don't have the money for all the consoles.
No, neither do I. I don't think anyone does, to be fair. And I think, well, what Anton, tell us a bit. Did you see much about? Because to be honest, I missed a lot of this. I just saw that they were doing this. Are any clues to what it's going to be about?
Well, the one thing they emphasised was the fact that it's PC hardware. It's x86. So my theory is that they're going to be doing almost like a Steam box with the Atari name strapped on the front of it, wood grain, and maybe make it a closed system that's maybe optimised, so it's running on specific hardware so people can tailor it, but it's running on PC hardware so people don't need to develop new games for it. Because otherwise, how are you going to talk developers into porting games to a console made by a company that the only successful thing they made was the Atari 2600 that destroyed the industry? So yeah, I think it's just going to be a Steam box Ouya kind of situation where it's running on existing archetypes and people can just throw stuff over to.
Where's
probably
Half-Life?
based on Linux.
There's a question for us all. Where's Half-Life 3? If it did, I'd buy one in a heartbeat.
Maybe it'll be an Atari exclusive.
What did those guys think of Spider-Man? Because that's how Sony, they're like, that was their one more thing.
That's why I was, that confused the hell out of me, I'm not going to lie.
To be fair, Spider-Man confuses the hell out of me because there's so many of them.
True that, but also, yeah, I don't know who's who, like which one is the real Spider-Man anymore, but also, like, what, they ended on that, didn't they?
Yeah, that was their closing.
What? You're gonna close on Spider-Man, really?
That's massive to some people, though. Spider-Man's massive.
Well,
fair enough if Spider-Man can be massive, but at least make the game look good, for God's sake. It just looked like QuickTime events, and I'm sick of them. I'm so sick of them. Because if you're, like, think about how cool it would be to be Spider-Man, to have the cool powers like that, and just to have to press a button or hold down 2 triggers to do something. It's just like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I think Sony's wanting this to be their Batman Arkham City of the Marvel universe. Well, they've got the best team they could ever have to do it. I think Insomnia is the best people to make a Spider-Man game. They've done good ones like Spider-Man 2 on the PS2 and Xbox One, Xbox
I'm sick
original.
of Spider-Man there. I've said it. I'm sick of it.
He can sling his hook.
He can. They came out and said, oh, there's another Batman game. I love Batman. I would just be like, really? Another one?
Like that's what I said as well, like with the Batman Arkham series. It looked just like that with the fighting, but obviously with Spider-Man touches. And the fact it was much brighter, I quite like that. But yeah, the quick time things when he's running up the crane thing. I thought as long as there's not too much of that, it might be right. But I wasn't massively blown away, but I thought it looks alright and stuff.
No, it's because like it didn't impress me. I didn't understand. Like with Arkham Asylum, I loved that because it's not just I'm biased kind of towards Batman here. There's a lot more characters that I like from Batman though, because there's a lot more to work with, I think, in making something cool like a game. There's more variety.
I think we'll see some more Batman coming out, to be fair. I think especially with the sad news of Adam West as well, I can see one where they bring in all the different generations of Batman. I can see it. It's one of those things that might well happen. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd love a good Spider-Man game. So if it's good, I'm there. But yeah, I am a bit concerned it's going to be the QuickTime thing. Which
what's the story going to be? What's the story going to be though? Do you get to play as him taking pictures for the paper? Because I would rather it was like that, like a Spider-Man life sim, like where you have to balance your life as Spider-Man and Peter Parker, and also you've got your girlfriend and your pals and that, and you're trying to
Spider-Man with a spider cam.
Yeah, like a life, like
Spider-Man Sims 4.
Kind of an open world Spider-Man. You get to choose lots of stuff. You know what I mean? That kind of
probably
thing
quite
where
cool.
I got to I'm basically describing Persona like Spider-Man Persona game here, but that would
Persona
be good.
Spider-Man
I think.
edition.
Yeah.
It's possible because the inspiration of this is Spider-Man 2 because that's like the most beloved Spider-Man game, and that is an open world game. You did play as Peter Parker and delivered pizzas and take photos and stuff like that.
See,
So
these are
it's
the kinds of
possible.
things that I like to do in games.
It's weird because I've got a keen eye on this game. I really want it to be good. I might buy it if it turns out to be good. But I reconcile with the fact that this was a horrible way to end a show.
That was
Even
so.
though I'm
I was
excited
like,
for it.
really? This is what you're going to end with?
That's what I'm saying. I think the fact that we got like no Last of Us 2.
Ah, and they did also announce Spider-Man last year. So I'm kind of like,
To be honest,
announce the games at E3 and conferences. Show me trailers and I was about to swear there. Show me trailers and stuff on Facebook or anything else. You know what I mean? Where I can just, in my own comfort, watch them because they didn't even talk about it. You know, that's what you were saying. Like, if they had been talking about new things right there and then, or somebody playing the game right there and then, sure, whatever. But if I'm just gonna have to watch trailers, just show me them on Facebook. Be on stage and announce new games.
Talking about 2, we almost forgot. Nintendo then announced in the Treehouse event Metroid Prime 2. Well, it's Metroid Samus Returns, but it's basically a remake essentially of Metroid 2 on the 3DS, which looked pretty impressive. That was a big sort of surprise that nobody was expecting.
I also quite like the look of Sea of Thieves potentially if they get it right. That's is it just going to be Xbox? Is
That's
that
an Xbox.
Yeah.
Amazingly
Xbox
enough. Talking about exclusives and lack of Xbox ones, there's one that I actually quite like the look of, although PC as well. But I like the look of that. It's got potential. I've always wanted, since Pirates, the old Pirates, game. I've always wanted a really good modern one, and it looks like it could go there, but we'll see.
They had a Scottish voice in it too. The Scottish
Always
voice.
good.
What's your thoughts on it then between that and Skull and Bones?
I didn't see a lot of Skull and Bones, in all honesty. It's Ubisoft that did that. I didn't. I just saw that it was happening, so I don't really know at this stage. I don't know. Maybe they only showed a trailer, so maybe you don't know either. I don't know.
No, that's some game footage of it. It was like it's kind of like what they did with Black Flag. So you're on the ships. It's quite realistic stuff, and you've got player versus player 5v5 and stuff. So it's kind of like an online shooter, but with ships, and you're ramming ships and you're stealing the loot, and then you have to escape. So capture the flag type stuff. So it looked pretty good. It got a pretty decent response, but that's more like a realistic type of pirate thing.
Pirate simulator.
Yeah, whereas obviously Sea of Thieves is a bit more cartoonishy.
So
Cartoony's fine.
slowly going off on a tangent here. Now that we've seen E3, we know all the games that are pretty much coming out. What games do you all have on your to buy list?
Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Boom.
Getting it in August. Definitely.
Don't you have to get an Xbox One X for that?
No, because it won't be exclusive.
That would be horrible. Could you imagine?
Mario Odyssey for me for sure. Probably South Park. I'm on two minds about quite a few of the other ones, but if I had unlimited funds, probably a lot more than realistically. So I think those two are the top for me anyway. I don't think there's a huge amount more.
2 Sonic games, Odyssey, Splatoon 2. And I'm interested in everything Ubisoft is doing, but I don't trust Ubisoft right now.
Oh no.
Ubisoft's burned me so many
That's
times, so I'm
wise.
just sitting here like,
The
I'll
burn
wait
is real.
until the reviews. I would love Egypt to be good.
I'll add in the Mario games. I forgot about them, and also A Way Out, which I mentioned earlier. A Way Out for me is if it's good.
Anthem was probably the only thing that I was particularly excited about. I'm looking forward to the other games, but like I said, like we talked about this just before we came for recording. We're saying this year E3 felt like it was all right. It just felt like a kind of mid-cycle E3 where it's like in between the cycles. It wasn't like blowing us away, and that's why probably Microsoft got the biggest response for E3 apparently by stats. They got the biggest response through Twitch and stuff.
Because they had a console.
Yeah, exactly. Because they announced a new bit of
It's
hardware.
not that it was a good
But
console.
apart from that, there was nothing really particularly massively exciting. It was just alright. It was alright, man!
Did you have a chance to play Life is Strange, by the way, Michael, before we finish up?
No, do you know what I did instead? Because I was travelling a lot, I downloaded Danganronpa and played the first. I think I'm like a couple of hours in maybe now, but I'm not far in. But it's great. I love it, and it's It's the cutscenes are brilliant and they're very funny and they're
Do
slightly
you
dark.
love Monokuma?
Yes, yeah, but I'm still at the stage where I need to get to know them just a little bit more as like individuals. But there's
You get
already
free time though.
I know. I don't know. It's very interesting. I am enjoying it so far.
Good.
I'm kind of still investigating lots of bits and pieces. I'm still like kind of early on, but I'm way past the kind of intro bit and into the main game now. So.
What about ARMS? Have you tried that yet?
Yeah, I played it on the test weekend, and that for me was enough to convince me that I didn't need to part with my money for it. In all honesty, I enjoyed it.
Pretty good reviews, like.
Yeah. I think for me, what it is you need to get over a certain point where you're actually good at it, and I think until that point, it's a button basher. And I don't know if I've got the time or the will to invest in becoming good at ARMS when there's so many other games that I want to play. And that's the only reason. I actually did enjoy it, but I just didn't feel like I was in control of what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I might well come down if the price comes down.
I'll tell you something. Like I tried the demo on the Switch with Lindsay. We tried a quick shot of Just Dance 2018.
Oh, Just Dance games are really fun. I'll vouch for them.
I always think they look really sort of tacky and crap.
No, they're so much fun.
Like,
They're so much fun. Yeah, I used to get them for the Xbox when I had the Kinect because that was really fun actually at Christmas.
I'm actually thinking I might do a live stream with Lindsay about it, playing it.
I find it incredible with the new Just Dance. They're bringing it out to Wii and Wii U. Like, why? Stop.
Well, it's like they would bring it out for like 360 while they were doing it for like PS4 and Xbox One and stuff.
It's probably the exact same version.
Yeah.
They would also bring it out for the Wii like forever and ever, and I went like when people were really, really not playing the Wii anymore, and I was just like, I guess it's one of those games that like older people are more likely to get for parties and things.
Old grannies and that.
They might not have the most up-to-date consoles.
Yeah. Well, it's been interesting. As you said, I think that kind of mid-cycle thing is the thing, and it'll be interesting to see how many of the games that we've seen go on to score top reviews, because that's always the proof is in the playing, and we didn't maybe see enough of that this time around. Just remind us then, Shaun, of how people can get in touch with their thoughts, because I'm particularly interested if anyone wants to defend anything that we've kind of slated tonight.
Which is basically everything.
Yeah.
So something that they disagree with us on. I want someone to totally disagree with us so we can discuss that. So if you disagree with us, how can people get in touch?
Best way is to jump on YouTube. It's youtube.com/SmallFryUnify, and go in there and just leave us a comment in the YouTube video for the podcast. I'm also doing the daily fixes, and we've got the monthly show. So whatever one you want to drop a comment in, I'll try and get some of the comments for next week. We can have them read or whatever. But yeah, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about as Michael said, and like whether you agree with us or not on the Xbox. Or the show in general.
Or anything, you know. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's funny because I kind of thought we would be speaking about E3 for like 2 episodes lengths, and actually it's fitted quite nicely into the 50 minutes or so that we allocated. So we'll be back next week.
That sums it up, basically.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's exactly right.
Sums up E3 this year.
Yeah.
Well,
but
the
then
great thing is we've got plenty to talk about going forward. Specific games.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Yeah.
Loads of good stuff coming out.
We can hone in on certain topics if need be.
Absolutely, there's loads to talk about. The only other thing, of course, is that maybe we're just all spoiled because we get so much choice these days, and you know, we should just actually be grateful that there's so many great developers and games out there, and let's just stop being moany and get on with it. That's it.
No, I want more. I'm a privileged child.
I want Shenmue 6. Give it to me.
Well, that's it. We'll be back next week, and we'll be looking at the some of these in a bit more depth, and also whatever happens between now and then. And yeah, that's been E3. We didn't do any of our retro stuff this week. We didn't do any of Cat Litter, but that's all coming back next week, and we will make Cat play those games. Trust me, she's been on holiday. She's got away with it.
The crap will return.
Yay!
Absolutely, crap everywhere. Right, we'll be back next week. Goodbye.
Bye.